Hit the go live, we'll do an audio check, then we'll get straight into it. Alright. What job do you do?
Go live, we'll do an audio check, then we'll get straight into it.
Alright, I guess the audio check started. I am a development technologist at the Mayo Clinic. I make new tests for them and make sure everything goes okay. But that's not what this stream is about. This stream is about watching my injured cat climb up on his tower like a fucking gangster. Okay. He has arthritis, so I have to go get meds for him actually today at some point. I'm going to have to run over to the vet clinic, but he seems to be moving around all right, which is good. Arthritis kind of comes and goes. All right, letting people gather for just a second, then we will get on with it. I did add a little text note on the left-hand side you can all see. Sometimes when I do these patch streams, not trying to flame anybody in particular, but it's actually a large number of people that will hop into the stream like 30 minutes in and say, were there any nerfs to Beastmen? And like, I get it, but I'm probably going to give you a quick yes or no and move on. And if you want me to go all the way back in the patch notes and cover the Beastmen part again, that's not going to happen. Because everybody comes in, everybody asks about a specific faction, and it never goes anywhere. So we're just going to go through it. It's alphabetical as per usual, so if you're like, are there any Beastmen nerfs? And we're on C, we just passed B, go back 5 minutes, see what I said about Beastmen, come back to the future, and say, I got it. Alright. Let's get on with it. We have 30 people. This was Pikeman's here. Patch 4.1 is here. I have been very excited about it. I don't know what's in it. I have not read the patch notes. No one at CA tells me what is in these things, nor do I expect them to. I have been very hopeful about it because campaign, domination, and land battles have been complaining about largely the same things. Largely, right? It's not all the same, but everybody knows that single entity interactions in patch 3.1 were better than patch 4.0. Like, the many times on stream I've shown Nakari not able to hit Azazel, just follows him infinitely. A lot of people not being able to hit Mother Ostankia, just following her infinitely. People not being able to pin down and kill Kairos, just following him infinitely. Trying to fight against Felix or any foot characters and you walk alongside them rather than hitting them. Like, those are things everybody knows about. Those are things everybody's aware of. So those are things I'm hopeful get fixed. Healing is quite strong in domination and land battles, so hopefully that gets nerfed, etc., etc. Now, there are differences, right? But people share a lot of the same stuff, which makes me hopeful. Patches I'm not hopeful for is when campaign is asking for one thing, domination is asking for another thing, and land battles is asking for another thing. It's like, okay, well, this is not going to fucking happen. So we'll see. Also, it's just been so long, and also patch 3.1 was just so much more stable than patch 4.0 for a bug and balance discussion that, I don't know, I just feel hopeful that patch 4.1 will follow that trend. Did you cover the Beastmen yet? Oh, of course. Oh, of course. All the Beastmen got killed. Are you going to play any Ratmen? I guess that's another announcement. If the patch comes out tomorrow, like it usually does after these things, I owe you people a 10-hour stream from a previous thing we did. If you weren't a part of that, whatever. But chat won a bet, so I have to do a 10-hour stream. I will do that with patch 4.1. So if you're looking for some Skaven gameplay, I'll be playing for 10 fucking hours tomorrow. There's probably going to be some Skaven in there. Today, no, we're just going to go through the patch notes, and then I have to go run some errands, get back to work, and get things set up so that I can take time off from work tomorrow and stream for 10 hours for you all. All right. Anyway, preamble aside, let's get into this patch. Like I said, I have not read it, so I'm reacting in real time. After 3 new legendary faction leaders arrived in Warhammer 4.1, whatever. Juicy highlights. Settlements, siege battles, update. Okay. Skill point resets, good. Don't know why that wasn't in the game already, but we'll take it. Projectiles, homing 2.0. I'm a little alarmed, because I haven't particularly noticed a problem with homing projectiles besides what's that one? Doombolt. The Dark Elf one. The Dark Elf one sucks. If you're moving at all, you dodge it. But, like, otherwise, I don't know. Feels like most homing spells are okay. Main menu background with 19 additional themes. What, are they just the old ones? That's not a negative change. I am not negative about that at all. I'm just flabbergasted. I wasn't expecting to read that today. I wonder if it's all of the old ones that ever existed, which would be cool. I mean, it's a small change, but you take that. It's fine. I'm always down for more content for free. Massive suite of bug fixes, race tweaks, UI improvements, and more. Okay, that's what I'm most excited about. There's so many bugs that need fixing that are getting in the way of good content. Skill point reset, that honestly is very self-explanatory. If you need me to talk about it, then you might need to play the tutorial of the game again. Just, if you got bad perks and you realized it at level 30, you can go back and retool. And especially if, I imagine if the AI have a unit and they fucked it up real bad, you could just retool that unit. Settlement Siege update. Linked capture points. Okay, I don't really play much campaign, so I'm going to skip this part. If you're interested in it, you should go read it, but I won't have good opinions because I didn't know how it worked before, so I don't know how it works now. Siege stuff. New backgrounds. The main menu themes from Total Warhammer 1 and 2. Oh, I love being right all the time. I'm so brilliant and smart. That's pretty cool. That's Pog. I'm a fan. Fixed a rare crash that occurred when a legendary hero would spawn to the AI. Don't care. Change difficulty from another difficulty. Don't care. Don't care. Rare pathfinding crash. Don't care. Multiplayer crash when 2 more people try to teleport to a quest battle at the same time. I mean, sure. Make multiplayer campaigns more stable. Fine. Okay. I mean, good stability fixes. No massive insight I can offer there. Rules and system. Reworked homing projectiles to be far more aggressive and accurate in their homing, enabling to hit their targets more consistently. Did Blue Fire of Tzeentch need that? Did it need that? That's immediately the missile spell I think of. And as I mentioned at the start, there's only one missile spell I can think of that I can dodge by just moving in a direction, but everything else has been pretty okay. Did they need that? All right, we'll see. We'll see. I bumped my computer, so you guys probably heard that. Spellcasters without snipe are now revealed, for example, while hiding in forests or while casting spells. What? Spellcasters without snipe are now revealed when hiding in forests or while casting spells. The or is getting me there. That better be a typo. Because if you just took hiding from the forest from all spellcasters just for fucking reasons, if like an Imperial army is moving through the forest with like cannons and horses and thousands of troops, and the enemy army has no idea it's there, but then the Jade Wizard walks into the forest without casting any spells, and the army's like, Jade Wizard right there, 200 meters away. That would be so funny. Every spellcaster in the game, just fuck them. No hiding while in forests. Anyway, I'm reading that. I'm pretty sure that's a typo. I think it just means that spellcasters are revealed when they're casting spells within a forest. Norse Gun Wars, the chaos stuff I don't care about. Okay. Skip. AI rules and logic. I'm mildly interested in this. AI reinforcement units remain idle once they deploy on the map. I didn't have that issue, but I guess it's good that it's fixed. Pulling back to aggressive from enemy units. Improve the position of AI archers. Pull out from settlement walls. Frequency of ground-based AI attempts. Siege battles. I mean, these are all good fixes. Just the AI being less stupid in campaign. I'm a big fan of that. I occasionally dabble in campaign. And I'm not very try-hard in campaign because I don't know all the mechanics inside and out. But, like, I usually quit a campaign after the AI gets a little too predictable and I can just, like, burning head my way to victory. Okay, they fixed the infinite winds of magic bug for something mounted on a war beast, though I could also do that with Kairos, and Kairos isn't mounted on shit. Alright. Whatever. Cyrus will be happy about this because he's been asking about it constantly and I don't know. Yes! Ooh! Even the title of this is getting me excited! Single entity knockdown reactions. We've adjusted the behavior of units targeting a single entity that's been knocked down in combat. This can be broken into 2 different cases. When a unit with multiple entities knocks down a single entity target, previously they would engage in charge behavior where they'd charge across around the targeting entity until they stood back up. Under the new system, they have 2 new cases to employ depending on the state of knockdown entity. I'm so fucking excited! If the knockdown entity lands outside of the squad's OBB, don't care, the unit will move to place their formation over the fallen entity and then wait for it to get up. Good. Getting a proper surround over something that fell down instead of running past it. That's smart. If the knockdown entity lands inside their OBB, they'll remain stationary and simply wait for the target to stand back up, maintaining their surround in most cases. For single entity versus single entity matchup, once the target is knocked down, the attacking entity will move towards them and place themselves near the fallen foe in position to attack them once they stand up. Yes! That's a big improvement. It sounds really stupid and really obvious, and that's because it was really stupid, and it should be really obvious. I'm not a programmer. I don't know how to program things. I'm sure it was hard, but it was very frustrating when you would have Scarbrand drop kick Felix in the face, but because Felix got knocked down, Scarbrand would run past him and then start turning around, and Felix stands up, gets a rear attack on him, and then Scarbrand's turning so slowly, and his arc of turning around is so long that Felix gets 2, 3, 4 more hits on Scarbrand, and I'm like, Scarbrand, hit him, you fucking degenerate! So this is good. I'm excited. Be aware these do not apply when pursuing routing units. That's a pretty big caveat, and routing units have been a problem for a while, but it's way less egregious to me. And I'm not trying to just be a CA defender, a little soy boy, but it is way less egregious when you're chasing something that's routing and your character isn't hitting it correctly. It's annoying, but it's way less annoying because if that character is at the same time beating the shit out of you while your character isn't attacking back, it's worse. It's a little bit worse. But have they ever addressed the thing with single entities and weapon skill being ruined by larger skill? I don't know yet. We'll see. Projectile homing in 2.0, we factored out the game handles homing behavior for projectiles, making them significantly more reliable, opening up space to create a variety of low and high power homing projectiles. Okay. So here's the before and after. It looks like more of the Wraithstorm from Count Noctil is hit. Yeah, the arc is also a lot better. They angle in more, which is fine, but I hope they nerf certain missile spells that were already really good. List of abilities that have been affected by this change. Orion and Sisters of Twilight needed it. Glade Lords needed it. Glade Captains needed it. They were too easy to dodge, and they were bad. Waystalker, as much as it hurts me to say it, because they plagued me in Warhammer 2, they needed it. Ulrika needed it. So there's a lot of these things that needed it. Single entity archers are hot garbage. Why isn't Alethanar on this list? Why isn't Alethanar here? Anyway, single entity archers have been bad for a long time because as soon as they fire their arrow, it's going to a certain spot. It doesn't really home at all. And if that target moves even in the slightest, it's going to miss. So, Luminarch of Hysh. Better homing for the Luminarch. Glorious. The Luminarch's always been that unit that's on the cusp of being toxic. And you're just wondering what's going to send it over the edge. So far, nothing yet. Doomdiver Catapults, Pog, they miss too much. Hell Cannon, Pog, misses too much. Soul of Damnation, just same Hell Cannon problems. Iceforce Legion is just Hell Cannon problems. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch. Oh, great! The Soul Grinder of Tzeentch has better tracking. The unit that is notorious for missing constantly all the time. The Soul Grinder of Tzeentch. Super glad that's getting an accuracy buff. It doesn't matter because the thing never fucking missed. So who cares if it never fucking misses even more? I assume it applies to Alethanar. He's just not on this list, but it is funny to me that Alethanar's not on this list. Abilities. What the hell is Goggly Glare? What the hell is that ability? I've played these games for 5 years, and I've never come across Goggly Glare. The fuck is that? Whatever. It looks like any spell. There's Blue Fire of Tzeentch. Any spell that is a missile spell or ability gets its homing increased. That's all this is. Alright. Fix, skip. Spells. Okay. This is important, so I'm going to have to actually think about this. Banishment, vortex speed, slow down, vortexes, slow down. Okay, so a lot of the vortexes that move around randomly, the vortex speed is slowing down further, and they did that last patch too. And that was actually an okay change. It's not what I wanted. What I wanted was the return of, I don't know if it was a bug in Warhammer 2, but it was a feature that Anticity discovered, that you could guide vortex spells by swinging your mouse as you cast it. So if you swing it to the left, the vortex will go roughly left. I think that had a lot of skill expression, and it was very fun. But maybe some people didn't like it. Maybe it was a bug. Don't know. I would like that back. But in its place, these are making vortex spells a little more reliable. With their speed slowed down, they do better because they stay where you originally cast them more, which does more damage. The thing vortex spells really need to be viable, if we're not doing the directional thing, is they need to be way cheaper than wind spells, where it's like, okay, I'm going to take this vortex spell that's way cheaper, winds magic-wise, and its random arc could completely fuck me over, because it could go into my troops, or it could go off in the middle of nowhere. Both are bad options. But it's so much cheaper, and whatever lore passive I'm triggering by casting it over and over again is worth it over the guaranteed value of Pendulum, Burning Head, Pit of Shades, wind spells or stationary vortex spells. That'd be my take. But whatever. This is a fine improvement. It is an improvement. It doesn't make them amazing, but it's better. So we take those. Any vortex spell has its speed slowed down. Life Bloom, duration reduced by 20%. That is the Lore of Life passive, so the whole army gets 20% less healing. Children of Nurgle gets 20% less healing. Restless Dead gets 20% less. Well, not even 20%, but whatever. So the passive healing auras of the Lores of Healing got nerfed. Troll Guts got nerfed pretty bad. Losing 5 seconds and 10 seconds of duration is pretty bad. Soul Stealer got a heal decreased. Rune of Doom, Thorix, if I'm remembering that correctly, that's Thorix global 24 melee attack and cause fear, got reduced by to a 55 meter aura around him. Okay. Fireball, lost penetration. So, really good. Really good. I saw some comments on Discord that were pretty negative on this patch. So far, I haven't seen anything that really upset me. Soul Stealer nerf, good. Good. 20% decrease in the healing it gets seems fine. That's a good place to start. If it continues to be super strong and super broken, maybe reassess it. But you know what? Something is good. They listened. We take those. Rune of Doom, going from map wide to 55 is probably healthy. Thoric is probably still going to be the best Dwarf Lord. I'm hoping... This is going to sound hypocritical because I have been on the fuck Thoric train for a long time. I hope this is the only change to Thoric and they wait and see how it goes. Personally... Because that is a huge nerf. Before they, you get to him and he's like, plus 500 gold, minus 600 health, no armor piercing, and you took away his global buff. What, he's useless now? What a crazy result. So it's like, okay, you gutted the shit out of Rune of Doom. Let's wait and see. But I do want other Dwarf Lords to get buffed, so we'll see. Skills and traits, skip. Items and ancillaries, once again, I'm not the guy to talk about campaign balance stuff. I don't know what's good in the first place, so I can't give you good opinions. All right, we're on the Beastmen update. What everybody's waiting for. Beastmen. Campaign stuff I don't care about. Units. Malagor can no longer capture points in domination mode. Good. That was a bad bug. Even though I don't really play domination, I am all for them getting bug fixes that were stupid. Zongors, multiplayer cost increased by 100. That is appropriate. Zongors were very, very cost effective. And I think at 800 they'll be a viable unit, but not amazing, right? I think they'll be fine. Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Because the problem with the Zongors was they buffed up rosters too much. They themselves as a unit, if you compare them to like Marauder Berserkers, they're not that impressive. But Zongors were just really good on factions that aren't supposed to have a good front line. Like Tzeentch and Beastmen are not known for their front lines, and Zongors were like, let me fix that for you for 700 gold with Vanguard and Shields. Ungor Herd, cost reductions. That's smart. Ungor Herds suck. And they're supposed to suck, but they suck a little bit too much, so I like that. Butcher's Captain Guard, cost increase. They're a very, very good unit. I think at 1,600 gold, they're still going to be amazing. And then Razor Gore Hordes got nerfed in Domination. That's fine. These are some good changes. I like it. I don't know if they were necessary, but they seem fine. Traderkin's still going to be strong, but in the meta of single entities just defining entire fights, I'm fine with Traderkin being strong. Bretonia. No nerfs besides the Lore of Life nerfs that were mentioned in the earlier thing. They're probably still going to be extremely strong, but I'm not upset about it. Hippogriff Knights maybe could have used a touch, but I don't know. Bretonia is the faction that is just relying on healing being strong. I don't think any of their units are particularly overtuned, besides the Hippogriff Knights. But without, like, imagine Bretonia if healing got slapped down, and you might see what I mean. Again, as you get dominated in quick battles by them, you might be like, oh, Human Boy, Bretonia's fine, they don't need nerfs. It's like, okay, they have some good elite cavalry that's very expensive, and they have to protect, but the state of healing means you can YOLO Grail Knights into a bad situation, throw an overcasted regrowth on them, and get fucked, nerd, nothing happened. Like, yeah, that's a regrowth problem, that's not a Grail Knight problem. The Mutal Vortex Beast relies pretty heavily on regrowth. Kairos relies pretty heavily on regrowth. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch pretty heavily on regrowth. Grail Knights, Hippogriff Knights, Alberics de Bordelot, all relying on regrowth, pretty bad. Wood Elves bring healing all the time. They usually bring Earthblood, but it keeps their great Stag Knights alive. Huh, is there a common thread through all these things? Nah, nerf anything that's expensive into the dirt. Leave healing alone. I rest my case. You've peaked? Yeah, patch notes get people hyped. Chaos Dwarves, I got a little bit of this spoiled for me, and I like it. I'm very excited for this. It is all the changes I wanted. Maybe not as extreme as I wanted them, but Hobgoblin Cutthroats got a cost decrease, which is good. Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits got a huge cost decrease. I actually think they'll be meta now. Chaos Dwarf Warriors, 25 gold. I would have just bumped it down to 600, but 25 is fine. Chaos Dwarf Warriors with great weapons down 50 gold. That's more like it. Hessian Stark Ravagers lost their 360 firing arc unit cap, and then Great Taurus, Bale Taurus, and Cinder Breath went from large to very large. I don't know what that change does, but while I think the Chaos Dwarfs are going to need a little bit more bumps in the right directions, the Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits cost decrease does actually help a lot. You can field a moderate front line, because right now the Chaos Dwarfs have a dog shit front line or a super hyper elite amazing front line, and they have nothing in between. And they took all the in between units and made them cheaper, which makes it more viable to have a moderate front line, right? Mix Chaos Dwarf Warriors in with Hobgoblin Cutthroats, and then your entire front line got a cost decrease, and your front line has a massive leadership buff from the, the +8 leadership from standing next to a Chaos Dwarf. It's like Terror or something. I forget what it is called, but yeah. So now you can field a front line that was previously just way too expensive to be viable, and it could really add some stuff to the Chaos Dwarf matchup. I think Bull Centaur Renders need a bit of a buff. They got nerfed too hard. Certain single entities could use some switching around and stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. But the main problem with the Chaos Dwarves I was having was their front line, and this targeted that very nicely, so I'm quite excited. I've been playing a good amount of Chaos Dwarves. So it's cool. Content, thank you. Did you cover the Beastmen yet? I did cover the Beastmen. I will go back for you, sir, and recover them. Rainy Frog's here as well. I like these changes. While I don't think they'll be enough for the Chaos Dwarves, I prefer small adjustments over slapping something into the dirt, like Slaanesh. Rip in peace, Slaanesh. Anyway. Demons of Chaos got the blue scribes. Just fine. That's fine. They're still, unless Demonic Instability is further down this list, Demonic Instability is just the biggest problem for them. Dark Elves. Campaign, no one cares. Well, I don't. Cold One Chariots no longer able to range attack walls. Thank God. Thank God they nerfed Cold One Chariots. I was sick of the Cold One Chariot meta. Every fucking game it was 7 Cold One Chariots. And they fixed a bug, which is good. It's good they fixed a bug. Units with 360-degree firing arc, they now count appropriately. Again, great. Great, they're stopping The Cold One chariot meta has been terrorizing quick battle. Whatever. It's fine. It's a fine change, but it is funny that they looked at that unit, looked at dead in its tear-filled eyes. They're like, Cold One chariot, and he's like, my time has come. He's like, there's 2 bugs with you. Stop attacking walls and count correctly towards the 360 unit cap. And then it closes the door, and in the darkness, just there's a little shimmer of a tear down a Cold One's face. Get fucked, Cold One chariot. No pain, no gain, how dare you. Anyway, these changes look kind of cool. Let me read through them and actually figure this out. The Bloodwrack Medusa, and then her ROR, plus the Bloodwrack Shrine. With changes to homing projectile behavior, a small balance patch has been done on the Bloodwrack Medusa gaze weapon. The explosion damage is less overall, but the impact damage has been increased, pushing more of a generalist AP profile. Base missile damage is cut in half. Armor-piercing missile damage is cut in half. Bonus versus infantry goes to 0 from 10. Shots per volley is 1 from 1 to 5. Oh. That's interesting. Base explosion damage down from 120 to 15. Armor-piercing explosion down in half. Radius down by 1. I can't pretend to be smart enough to fully understand how the math on this pans out. But that is very interesting. 5 shots instead of 1 per volley, if that means what it seems like it means. And then you get 5 instances of 15, 30, 15, and 30, instead of 1 instance of 30, 60, 120, 60. That's overall a buff. Quick maths would tell me that. So that could be cool. It could be interesting. Bloodwrack Medusa's spear has been given a measure of anti-large. So the Bloodwrack Medusa gets... Okay, this is a good change. I'm not mad, but this is funny. This is a good change, but it is funny. The Bloodwrack Medusa's spear has been given a measure of anti-large. Just a smidge, just a little bit, to allow it to trade well into monstrous infantry cavalry units. Just a little bit. Bonus versus large from 0 to 30. Oh, just a bit. Just a little teensy bit of bonus versus large. 30. Again, it's a fine change. It's a fine change. The Bloodwrack Medusa sucks real bad. And with these changes, it might be good. I'm very excited to try it. But that is not a measure of anti-large. That is a fuckload of anti-large. Melee attack plus 5, and their mass went up 700, and their entity size went from very large to large. That is so many buffs. Holy cow, that's so many buffs. Wow. Bloodwrack Medusas are stacked. I am so excited to try them. No, Grievin, for sure. Like I said, it's a great change. A great change. I was specifically laughing at the given a measure, and then you give them 30. Like, I would have changed the language on that. The Bloodwrack Medusa spear has been given a large amount of anti-large, and then put in parentheses, see what I did there, to allow it to trade well. It's a good change. I just thought the language was funny. It is more bonus versus large than the Hell Pit. Yeah, but the Hell Pit's been outscaled by time. And it looks like instead of... So over time, there's been a lot of power creep in Warhammer. And it seems like instead of taking all the new stuff and bringing it down to the level of the stuff in games 1 and 2, it's taking a lot of the old stuff and bringing it up to the measure of game 3. Which honestly isn't a bad change. I'm not omniscient, so we'll see how it goes. But like, one thing I have been trying to say, while everybody's in the dumps right now about the state of Warhammer 3, and like, shit sucks, right? I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. But one thing that has been nice, and I don't want to see go away, is the prevalence of extremely expensive units. Because the meta in Warhammer 2, for so long, it was a meme, was a 20 stack of the cheapest shit you could buy. And that was all you wanted to do. And now it's like, Chosen of Khorne, because I'm going to talk about units that specifically don't get healing. Chosen of Khorne, they're decently meta. You see them a good amount of times. Blackguard of Naggarod. Not meta, but you see them a decent number of times. They do okay. When you're playing Slaanesh, Koops brings a lot of Exalted Demonettes, and he makes them look pretty good. I like Exalted Bloodletters in certain matchups, like versus Dwarves. Minotaurs of Khorne, Minotaurs of Beastmen are very expensive, and they don't get any healing support, and they're fine. Like, I like those units being in the game. The Jabber Scythe doesn't get any healing and it's still really good. Incarnate Elemental of Beasts on some rosters can get healing, but even the Beastmen take it and the Beastmen can't give it healing, right? So I like those things. So I'm not against the Bloodwrack Medusa getting jacked up stats to make it worth even taking, rather than taking it down to like 800 cost total, but it's still a dog shit unit, but now it's just cheap enough to bring. I'd rather it be a cool, good unit that's expensive, so you have to invest in it, rather than, everything be cheap, but also everything suck. Ironbreakers aren't that uncommon. Thank you, Swiss Pikeman. So I really like that change. I do. We'll see if it's too much. If it's too much, hopefully they tone it down, but it's new and it's exciting, so I'll take those. Dwarves, 0 changes. I don't know how I feel about that, because the Thoric nerf was huge, and I don't want to undersell that. Going from global to 55 meters around him is pretty fucking big. So their most OP lord got nerfed. I won't complain about that. I really wish their other lords had gotten buffs, but overall I'm not that upset. I'm mildly disappointed, but I'm not upset yet. We'll see how the Thoric stuff changes. All right, Grand Cathay. Campaign shit. I'm going to skip it. Yang and Yin Harmony both got nerfed by quite a bit, 33%. That's pretty huge. Onyx Crowman, 50 cost increase. The Aurora got 100 cost increase. That's pretty huge. Wait. Why? That's weird. The recruitment cost and the multiplayer cost are different. So the basic Onyx Crowman didn't get a nerf at all, which, okay, they're still going to be strong, but they're not super OP. Empress Crowman were super OP, and they're getting a nerf. Their grenades damage is cut in half on the armor-piercing side, and then they get 100 gold cost increase. That's a good change. I like the Harmony nerf. That was good. That was needed. Onyx Crowman, the base unit getting untouched is a little cringe, but I don't know. Honestly, we could patch it tomorrow, and this is just a typo. This multiplayer cost should be 650, like, maybe. I don't know. But they acknowledge the Empress Crowman is too strong and they nerfed them, so I'm not going to complain about a good thing. Is it everything I wanted? No, but it's something. Closest to the Heavens, spell intensity from 50 to 20%. Okay. Yeah, this isn't bad. Again, same with the Dwarves. It's going in a direction I like. They took super OP Lord and nerfed it. And then in this one, they took Harmony, which people are complaining about. They nerfed it. They took the Empress Crowman and they nerfed it. Is it everything I wanted? No, but they didn't fuck anything up. God damn you, Patrick. I think you're trolling me, but just in case you actually wanted to know, the very short version is their mid-tier frontline got massive buffs. But you'll have to go back and get the specifics. Greenskins. I have heard a rumor. I don't know the rest of it, but I heard about Wurzag, and I'm very concerned. But let's see the rest of the changes. Maybe my contacts in the community, not in CA, like literally just some of my mods were like, did you see what happened to Wurzag? And I was like, no, what was it? And they're like, oh, they cut his testicles off, left him on the side of the road, and then kicked him a couple times. Just, kick him. And they took Spleen Rippa and took him to a club and then sent pictures of how happy Spleen Rippa is without Wurzag. It was bad. It was a bad time. Anyway, let's see if they buff some other stuff. Campaign skip. Removed poor leadership bullet point from Super Squig and added Unbreakable. Woo! A campaign exclusive unit I can't take a multiplayer got buffs. Woo! I'm not against it. It's just funny. Wurzag, Bonewood staff item. Yep. Effect range goes from map wide to 55. He is dead. He's dead in the ground. And you might be like, okay, yeah, not having a global buff is rough. But is he really dead? Yes, he is. He's a terrible combatant. He is a decent caster on the second best lore that the Greenskins have, because the Greenskins have access to the lore of death through Azhag and the River Troll Hag. So his lore of magic isn't even that good. It's not terrible, but it's not that good. He is expensive for what he brings now, right? When you might be like, Wurzag too expensive? What are you talking about? When he provided a global buff, yeah, he was OP. I get that. But taking away the global buff, what's left? A pretty half-assed caster. Just saying. And the effect range map wide to 55? Oh, you mean Wurzag has to be in the fight Thank God he's really good at staying in a fight. What's that? He dies instantly? And every Greenskin game you've ever seen has his ass 5 miles away from the battlefield? Well, that's not great, is it? My boy's dead. Did he deserve it? A little bit. I'm not shocked. But he's fucking dead. Is there a section for every faction? Every faction they touch. Remove chariot cap when mounted on a war boar for the orc war boss, apparently counted as a chariot. Black orcs, 100 gold cost decrease. Crimson killers, 100 gold cost decrease. Orc biggins, 50 gold cost decrease. Savage orc biggins, 50 gold cost decrease. Rogue idol, 200 gold cost decrease. Night goblin archers, 25 gold cost decrease. All those cost decreases are good. All those units are generally underperforming in multiplayer. That is fine. I think Greenskins legitimately went from A tier to C or D. I don't think they're the worst faction in the game. But this really fucks them over. And again, Wurzeg was OP. But I talked about this on stream. The difference between Greenskins with Wurzeg and without Wurzeg, for me, as a Greenskin player, is shocking. Like, none of my units feel like they do anything. They're so fucking terrible without Wurzeg. It's actually insane. So I don't know. Like, Black Orcs, if you look at their melee stats, I don't have them off the top of my head, but their melee attack is garbage. And that's your only armor-piercing infantry. Like, if you run against Dwarves or Chaos Dwarves or High Elves, in some cases they have armor, but like any armored Marauder Champions, Chosen, Chaos Warriors, if you run into any of these things, you need armor-piercing to get through them. Well, you take a look, and you have Black Orcs, but their melee attack is so fucking terrible they can't get through these guys. They can't even hit them. But then you throw Wurzeg at them, and Wurzeg casts spells constantly to give your entire army plus 12 melee attack, and then he's casting spells on the Black Orcs that give them more melee attack, and then you use the Wall, which gives them more melee attack, and yeah, that shit's OP. There's way too much of it, I acknowledge that. But without it, they're dog shit, so they're kind of like between the space of being god tier and dog shit. And CA came in, and once again, this probably needed to happen, but they took Wurzeg, and they shoved him down into the gutter, which is fine, but I'm worried there wasn't the part 2, you know? And we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. Maybe Greenskins will be fine. Maybe I'll just be wrong. But I think there probably should have been the part 2 of we're giving everyone on the roster +2 melee attack, +3, +4, something like that. And we're taking Wurzeg's global +12 down to a local. You know what I mean? Like, there had to be some in between. So I'm worried the Greenskins are going to get pounded into the dirt. I could be wrong. Squigs have AP. True, but they also suffer from that problem of really needing Wurzeg's melee attack. But yes, you are correct. You are correct. I like the other buffs. That'll be my coming back here. The Black Orcs, the Orc Biggins, Savage Orc Biggins, Rogue Idol, Night Goblin Archers, all those units are great. I'm excited to hopefully see them. Cost decreases are always welcome. Anyway, High Elves. Omen of Assyrian, down 100 cost. Interesting. Eltharian. Someone was in my chat in patch 4.0 when I got excited about Eltharian cost decreases. And they said, yeah, but you misread it. And I did. I misread it because Eltharian on foot and horse got a cost decrease, but on Stormwing, his Griffin, he got a cost increase to match out. So he didn't... On his Griffin, he cost the exact same. And the complaint about Eltharian has always been he's too expensive. And then in the follow-up patch, he is like, I got you, fam! Eltharian's too expensive? His foot and his horse mount get less expensive. What about Stormwing? No comment. Fuck Stormwing. So this isn't a cost decrease, because no one takes Foot Eltharian. Why would you? No one takes Bard Steed Eltharian, because why would you? You're taking him for Stormwing. Reduce the cost of Stormwing. And Cia's like, no, I refuse. And you can go to hell. That's so good. Anyway. This is fine. This is fine. I haven't found High Elves particularly problematic right now. Again, I would do the same arguments as Bretonnia. The parts about the High Elves that are problematic are healing-based, not High Elf-based. Soul Quench on Barded Steed? Maybe. Like, the more you decrease the costs, the more other playstyles might be viable. Sorry, I just got a ping that I'll read later. I was wondering if it was pertaining to the stream. Anyway, the more you decrease the cost, the more certain things become viable. So maybe Horus Eltharion will be like your super cheap alternative caster. He does have high magic, so you can take Apotheosis and offer some healing support. Those are things that can happen, but it is just funny to me that like they're like, fuck Stormwing in particular. Has Stormwing Eltharion ever performed above expectations? No, but fuck him. It's funny. It still makes him cheaper. When they don't write it like this, it makes me think that they didn't make him cheaper. But we'll see. All right, Kislev. Campaign stuff. Okay. Removed armor from the ethereal summoned things in the woods. Okay. This is a good change. Mother of Stanky lost a third of her ammunition, which her ammunition does a lot of damage. Gulyash went from unlimited to 5 casts. That's also good. More for domination than land battles, though I was one of the few that actually hated it in land battles, because there were so many late game situations for me where Mama O, not like a ton, but it happened and it was annoying. Mama O and a heavy war sled were like all that was left, and they just shot at me and ran away while casting Gulyas infinitely, which it has a super long cooldown, great, but the end game gets super prolonged, and then by the time they run out of ammo, they've healed like 3 or 4 more times. It's like, oh, good. Oh, good. An armor-piercing chariot with infinite healing. So it just didn't seem like a healthy gameplay mechanic. Akshina Ambushers. Melee base damage is up. Melee AP damage is down, so they just switched the AP and AD ratios. Well, sorry, the AP and base ratios. Melee attack down, melee defense down by 10. Ooh! Oh, they got fucked! I mean, they should have. 36 melee defense on a stocked archer unit was absolutely stupid, but damn, 26 is low compared to 36. Range damage, base up, AP down. Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal. It brings Streltsy back into the game, which is good, because having an AP stocked archer was just dumb when you wanted Streltsy to have any purpose in this game, but dude, Akshina got taken out back. I don't know if they're even good anymore. We'll see if we see them. But yeah, they might just be bad. Streltsy got 1,000 more HP. Oh, yeah, that was a fuck Akshina, buff Streltsy type move, and I'm here for it. I'm ready. All right, good changes, Kislev. I like it. I like it. I don't think Things in the Woods needed a nerf. They're a little strong, but like in the list of the top 20 strongest units in this game, they aren't on that list for me. So I don't care. They're fine. They're good. They're very good. They're very cost effective, but there were bigger problems than I think CA addressed them. So Lizardmen. Nothing. Blessed Stegodons now receive. Blessed Hormones. Okay, those don't apply to me because I'm multiplayer. Quaddles no longer instantly kill themselves by clipping through walls on settlement battles. That's something I wasn't expecting to read today, but I'm glad. I'm glad they don't kill themselves. All right, Nurgle. Okay. That does not seem like a big enough campaign change for the ones people were asking for. And not a big enough multiplayer... I mean, not a multiplayer change at all for things people were asking for. Like, Rot Flies are still pretty bad. Plague Toads of Nurgle are okay. Pox Riders are pretty bad. Nurglings are pretty bad. So, I don't know. Nurgle needs some love to get out of the single entities please carry me phase, and they're not getting it, so fuck them. Greasus Goldtooth... Well, Ogre Kingdoms. Moving on to Ogre Kingdoms. Look at the Slan note. What about the Slan? Whoa! Whoa! Good catch, Vanthus. That's insane! We're going back to Lizardmen. Added the remaining spell lords, the Slan Mage Priests? Heavens? Who cares? Why wasn't that already one? Beasts? Who cares? Death and Shadows and Metal. That's amazing. That's actually amazing. I love it. Good change. Do Lizardmen need buffs? No. Is this the kind of buff I'll take? Yeah. more diversity of spells, and Slaanesh should know every lore of Magic, besides like the corrupted ones, right? They shouldn't know like Lord of Slaanesh and stuff, but they should know Metal, Death, and Shadows and stuff. That's so cool! That's so cool! Awesome change! Yeah! Oh, I love it. All right, back to Ogre Kingdoms. But that was cool. Thanks, Vanthus. I did miss that. You're a good lad. You're a good lad, Charlie Brown. Ogre Kingdoms. They've been fine in land battles. Definitely on the stronger side. I've heard that in Domination they are redonkulous. So let's see how this goes. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of text, so something must be up. Greasus Goldtooth. 5 more speed. We did it, baby. We did it. He's fixed now. Okay. I don't want to be shitty, because this patch has overall been pretty great so far. But I do wonder why they bother doing some of these things where, like, someone took a look at Greasus Goldtooth and his performance, and they're like, is he too expensive? Does he not have enough area of effect buff spells to make him worth taking? Is the fact that he's not a caster and not a good melee combatant the problem? Nah, a 5 speed and then that bitch is meta. Like... I don't know. But whatever. I'll take it, but it's not going to bring him into the meta. Scrag, plus 10 armor. Fine. Gorgers. Ooh. Plus 1600 HP is a pretty sizable buff, so go Gorgers, go. That might take them from being dog shit into potentially viable. I'll have to see. But it's a good change. Iron Guts. Plus 100 gold increase is good. Ogre Bulls, plus 50 gold increase is honestly good. Iron Fists. Charge bonus decrease, same with dual weapons, but they didn't get a cost increase, which is fine-ish. Nalbar Trappers, another cost increase. Oof. Okay. That'll weigh the ogres down a bit. Healing will still be a little ridiculous, but ooh, actually, yeah, they did take Troll Guts nerfs. So Troll Guts got nerfed, Overcasted Troll Guts got nerfed, and then their entire core of Monsters Infantry, outside of the highest tier of units, got nerfed. Okay. Yeah, ogres might go from being A tier to being like C, B or C, somewhere there. That's cool. It's cool. I hope they didn't overdo it, but so far that seemed pretty mild. Skaven. That is a very short list. Let's see what it is. Resolve an issue where Skaven vehicle unit wheels were not moving with the correct direction and speed. That seems pretty important. Fix the Skaven Packmaster skill, carrot and stick. Okay, that's a campaign thing. So Skaven didn't get any changes. I'm not shocked. I thought globes would maybe get touched a little bit, but Skaven in general are kind of like I was talking about with Bretonnia and High Elves. I think Skaven are performing largely as they should. Now, you're going to bring up specific examples of units that are maybe a little or over or under tuned. Like, wow, Doomflayers suck and globes are really good. Balanced. Yeah, those things. But the faction as a whole right now is just struggling due to the healing meta, which I would prefer healing be nerfed and globes get nerfed rather than Skaven getting buffs. So, while I do say globes should get nerfed, and they weren't, and that's a little disappointing, I'm not shocked the rest of the roster didn't get buffs. The rest of the roster is actually pretty good if you stop healing all of the damage I can ever deal to you. Aha! I netted you in place and shot you with 4 rattling guns and 3 warp lightning cannons. Get fucked, nerd! Overcasted regrowth. No. No more plans. No. Anyway. They fixed the Ikaclaw Double Trouble? Nice. Slaanesh. Fixed Slaanesh seduction cost, no longer displaying. Adjusted Nakari's jumping animation to perform better against infantry. Okay. This is the first swing and a miss. I've been shitting on a couple things in this patch just to be humorous, just to be funny. But this is the first one I actually am kind of mad about. Slaanesh got left alone? Really? They're terrible. They're terrible, man. They're the second worst faction in land battles. I don't know about Domination, but I haven't been hearing about them anywhere. Are Slaanesh still good in Domination? Oh, they got fucked. Holy shit, another patch for Slaanesh is gonna suck ass. And then, Thrones of Decay is going to come out, which doesn't have Slaanesh in it at all. And Slaanesh's DLC is after the Thrones of Decay, so I don't see them doing a big Slaanesh patch with the release of a different patch that's about other factions. And certainly not some rework to the kind that would make them viable. And, like, if they overdo it, then they make them OP on a patch where they're not even featured, so I really doubt that's happening. Wow. Hot take, and it's definitely off the cuff, but I think Slaanesh is going to suck until, like, April when their DLC comes. Or if the Thrones of Decay DLC ends up coming out in February, then their DLC is probably in, like, May or June. So, yeah, Slaanesh might suck until May or June. Rip in peace, Coops. The Empire, no real changes. They didn't need a lot of changes. War wagons are still ridiculous, but that falls under units not interacting with chariots correctly, which nowhere in this patch has it said anything about chariot models getting fixed, but I'll see. Sometimes these things aren't mentioned. So we'll see. If Empire war wagons get caught by armor-piercing cavalry and actually take significant damage, then the Empire is going to be in a lot healthier spot, and people will generally enjoy playing against them more. But we'll see if that's true. For now, it's all right. I haven't seen too much Empire recently, and they're a strong faction. I'm not trying to pretend they're not strong, but this isn't the worst thing in the world. I think Slaanesh getting no buffs is worse than the Empire getting no nerfs, is kind of where I'm at. Tomb Kings, Chosen the Gods can now damage walls with their projectiles. Okay, that seems fine. Tomb Kings are performing okay right now. C or B tier, but a lot of people still play them and then still get it wins, so it's fine. Holy shit, the Tzeentch faction is long. Alright, there's a bunch of campaign I can skip. Oh, they took Turin's note on this. That's interesting. Okay. Added lore of wild access to blue scribes. Multiplayer caps for Zongors. Yes. Greater demons having regular spells instead of bound spells. Okay. And then the Changeling. Multiplayer costs from 3,500 to 1,000. And now the price scales based on the transformation selected. That is good. That is good. That's how he should have been originally implemented. That is a buff to Tzeentch overall, maybe making the Changeling viable, which they don't need buffs right now. Blue Scribes multiplayer cost is way down. I don't see any stat buffs, so they're still going to be extremely squishy, and also a caster on a roster that your lord has to be a caster. So I don't know if they'll be viable. They'll probably be viable, but not optimal. Munith Vortex Beast plus 100 gold. Is Regrowth still on this roster? Yes, then you're still going to see a lot of that fucking thing. Munith ROR. Base damage increased by approximately 60%. It needed that, because the Munith ROR was worse than the base Munith. For sure. I still think it's going to be bad, though, because that ability has finite charges, while the regular Mutilith can just do it forever. Updated battle AI usage to better work with intended battle design. Does it keep netting itself in the sky? Because if so, it is garbage. If when it gets up into the sky, it actually flies, then we're good. That's a vague wording statement. Does the cockatrice fly now? And then Zongor is the same cost increase we saw on the Beastmen roster. I am disappointed in the Tzeentch changes. Blue Fire got better, not worse, with the aiming increase. Because I don't see a world where aiming better makes Blue Fire worse, but hey, maybe. Blue Fire probably got better. Kairos Fate Weaver is untouched. Untouched. The by far best lord in the entire game, in both game modes and campaign. Untouched? Untouched. He's fine. Okay, that's fine. Don't nerf Regrowth either. Buff Soul Grinders of Tzeentch, buff their accuracy, which again, not going to make that much of a difference because they're already god tier accurate, but still. So, to be super disingenuous and to be horribly mean, but just to make a point, Blue Fire, technically buffed. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, technically buffed. The Changeling, buffed. Blue Scribes, buffed. Thank God none of those units were viable in multiplayer. Oh, what's that? That's literally the Tzeentch meta? Holy shit, but we just buffed the Tzeentch meta. Whatever. Munith Vortex Beast cost increases is fine. Zongor's cost increases is fine, but I am very upset that Kairos didn't get a cost decrease. The Changeling did need some changes, so this is a good change. The Blue Scribes did need some changes, so this is a good change. Again, I was being disingenuous and silly, but it's questionable. Loraker, though, excellent caster. This roster was not built with having access to healing in mind. Barriers and all this shit, and then getting access to healing just breaks it. And as long as Kairos' model is still broken, and even when he lands with his pathetic melee stats, if he takes no damage just due to his model being jank as fuck, then he's going to be permanently broken. Because that was like the deal with the devil CA made with Kairos. They're like, listen, we're going to give Kairos all the best spells, all the best items, everything to make him the best fucking caster ever. But he's dog shit at melee. And then an Uno reverse card was played, and it's like, actually his model is so broken that he's the best melee combatant you've ever seen. Alright. Vampire Coast, no changes. That's fine. Coast is kind of in a fine place right now. They got some serious buffs last patch. They're still doing quite well in the meta. Their Lord selection is a little boring, so again, in a perfect world, Luther Harkon would get some buffs, maybe Celostra would get some buffs, maybe not. Noctilus might get some nerfs, etc., etc. But as a faction, again, saying like the top 20 problems in Warhammer 3, Coast isn't on that fucking list, so it's fine they got skipped, whatever. Vampire counts. Campaign stuff, that's it. Warriors of Chaos. Campaign stuff, that's about it. Interesting, but okay. I guess they're getting some... The Zomgor's change also applies to the Warriors of Chaos, but okay, that's fine. What else? Campaigns, units. Wood Elf Beastcasters have the wrong transformation to Kadon spell when reducing Winds of Magic in their skill tree. Okay, so there's no Wood Elf buffs in multiplayer, which is weird. Because I hear they've been slapping Domination with War Dancer spam. In land battles, they're underwhelming. So it's really weird that they didn't get any help in either direction. Like, if there were War Dancer nerfs, I would get that that's a Domination change, right? If there were, like, Wild Rider buffs and Waywatcher buffs, I would get that that's a land battle change. But doing nothing seems strange. Anyway. Orion and all of the Wood Elf lords and heroes that fire arrows now have homing arrows. So they got a little something, but it is strange. Campaign shit. Campaign shit. Okay. Fix an issue would cause a sectored settlement battle. Okay, that's all settlement stuff. Quest battles, siege battles. Okay, multiplayer. Sequential turns. When another human player ends the turn, all open panels will now close. The multiplayer pre-battle timer running out will now gray out all but the play battle buttons. Sorry, I'm actually interested in this because I run multiplayer campaigns once a month on this channel. Fix an issue with characters sometimes not being selectable. Multiplayer battles sometimes showing invalid map. Fix the first player being able to exit diplomacy screen. New error messages are now reported in the UI. Okay, well, none of those really matter to me, but fine. Graphics cleanup. I'm scrolling through to look for anything that I care about, but graphics are like the least of my concern. It caused Jumbo Mountain campaign was using the Icket model twice. That says in campaign battles, it doesn't say in multiplayer. Double Icket is still on the menu, baby. But anyway, I don't care about graphic stuff. Audio, don't care about audio stuff. UI, let's see if this matters. Units with burst fire projections now quickly display their ammo as number of bursts remaining instead of total ammo. That's good. That's good. That was very annoying to try and do calculations with. Okay. I like when they do this, when they lean into the joke. Aecold Hellbreast is now appropriately named Aecold Hellbreast during the Aecold Hellbreast quest battle to unlock Aecold Hellbreast. That's funny. I like it. Anyway. I'm just scrolling through these and seeing if any really matter to me. Okay. That was a lot of bug fixes. Looking forward, and with that, everything you just read for patch 4.1 will arrive in-game tomorrow. Jump in, try out the new settlement battle, strike your foes with homing projectiles, switch up your builds mid-campaign, Let us know how it's going. Never stops either. We'll be back on our next patch and new content in the future. That is as I say that. Be good and kind and be loved, of course. See you on the battlefield. Ending thoughts. I will say one shitty thing and then I'll be positive. I do sarcastically like how they just say news on our next patch and new content in the near future. Because last time in patch 4.0, they said patch 4.1 is right around the corner, and then almost 3 months went by before it came out. So clearly they learned they should never tell us anything, rather than, and again, I'm just getting one shitty comment out, then I'll be positive. But it seems the lesson they took away from never tell anyone anything, rather than try being on time. Just saying. But that is where my shittiness ends. I like the patch a lot. Of the changes, most of my disappointment were for things that were not there, which is better than being disappointed in things that were there, right? Like, they're seeing a change just being like, well, this is fucking stupid, is way worse than being like, oh, that's not in this patch. And there was. Now, if the whole patch was a nothing burger, I'd be upset. But it wasn't a nothing burger. According to their words, which I haven't gotten to try yet, because we get the patch tomorrow, but according to their words, single entities should be a lot better about fighting single entities, and then multi-entity models should be better about surrounding single entities after they get knocked down, which was a huge problem going from 3.1 into 4.0, so glad it got addressed. Settlement battles were improved upon, which everybody's been complaining about for all of time, and even if it's not a majority of my content, I'll take it. Ogre Kingdoms got some buffs, which a lot of domination players were complaining about, and land battles, they were stronger than average, so nerfs are fine. So that's a good change overall. Zongor's got a nerf, which is a good change overall. Healing, in some aspects, got nerfs. Is it all the nerfs I wanted? No. Is it on all the spells I wanted? No. But the lore of life, the lore of undeath, any healing passive lore got a bit of a decrease there. And then Soul Stealer got nerfed, which is things I've been asking for. So that's all good. Trying to think. The Lizardmen got some cool. Slaanes get new lores of magic. We get cool new main menu backgrounds, which again isn't everything, but it's free and it's something and it's still positive. And like, I don't know. I don't want to just live in a world where it's like, this thing didn't get fixed, so nothing good is ever good. It's like, no, it's good. It's not everything you wanted, but it's good. Blue Scribes getting buffs is cool. They're a dog shit unit, so that's fine. Changeling getting buffs, we'll see. He could be toxic. He could be fun. I hope he's on the fun side, but the idea of the character is just so terrifying for the balance of the game, where I'm like, man, if you guys aren't careful with this guy's going to be toxic as hell. So that's fine. Thoric's AoE nerf is fine. Wurzag's AoE nerf is maybe fine. I think it's going to over-nerf the Greenskins, but I know people have been complaining about Wurzag for a while, so again, it's a good change. So, like, I don't know. This patch was pretty good. It was pretty good. We'll see how it affects the meta. It felt very much like a patch where CA is listening as best they can. Like, again, they didn't hit everything, but, like, they hit very certain specific things that I and other content creators have been complaining about that isn't part of the campaign crew. Like, no one in campaign gives a shit about Wurzag's global buffs. That is a multiplayer complaint, and we got the multiplayer complaint resolved, right? Like, I don't know. It's nice. It's nice after patch 4.0. Felt like a giant piece of shit in my lap for 3 months. It's nice to get a patch where it feels like you were listened to. And it's not perfect, but it's something, and I'm going to be positive about it. And if all your comments on this video are just like, CA is dead, and this game's dying, and Hero Boy, you're a shill, and you're a piece of shit, then I guess that's just what we're doing. But I'm excited. And tomorrow we have a 10-hour stream. I am going to get up and have breakfast, and then I'll start the stream at 9 a.m. my time. It'll end at, what is that? Okay, so that'll end at 7. I might start at 8. I don't know. I'll start at 8 or 9 my time, stream until 6 or 7 p.m. my time, and I will play Darkest Dungeon 2 until the patch launches. As soon as the patch launches, I'm hopping into Total War, and I'll do the rest of the 10-hour stream from there. The only reason I don't start the stream as soon as the patch comes out is because, depending on when the patch comes out, that stream might go till midnight, and I have work the next day, so that's just not going to happen. But yeah, tomorrow morning, if you're excited to see any of those changes, we will be streaming pretty much the entire waking day for you people, and you can come by, drop requests in the chat about what units you want to see, what factions you want to see, what's going on with that. I'll just be playing pretty much whatever people want me to play as I get back into multiplayer competitive shape that I've been I've been waiting so long for this patch, because like every week you're like, okay, whenever the patch drops, I have a 10-hour stream. We have the world, like, the nation championship thing going on. I have Bone Ripper tournaments I want to host. I have all this shit. So I don't want to, like, super hardcore train right now because the patch might come out and change the meta. And I've been doing that for 5 weeks. I've been thinking the patch was around the corner. So it's finally here, and it's just like, all right, now we can fucking finally do this. I'm going to play some goddamn games. I'm going to learn the new meta. It's going to bang. Or it's going to suck. I don't know. But I have a 10-hour stream. So if it sucks, that's going to be cringe. All right, hours 1.5, Darkest Dungeon. Okay, that's fun, that's nice. Hour 2, oh, this patch sucks. Well, I have 8 more hours to fill. Oh, no! Anyway, yeah. As I alluded to, that does trigger some events. So, Wednesday is the EU time zone new player tournament. Thursday is Thanksgiving. Friday I'm busy with Grace's family, but I might stream some more Vermin League that night, playing some games. Saturday I am hoping to host a Bone Ripper tournament, and some guys on my fucking lawn. Anyway, hoping to host a Bone Ripper tournament, so there's some stuff there. Sunday, our World's Nation event starts, so 8 teams constructed from players from around the world will be representing their nations in a bracket. Best of 5, we'll be casting those. That'll be really fun. All this stuff come with patch 4.1, and that's part of the excitement about patch 4.1, is a lot of awesome content has been hidden and waiting for the patch. Even if it's a shit patch, you're getting good content that's been waiting behind the scenes, so let's fucking go! Let's fucking go. Let's get some hearts, some rats in the chat, and I'm going to shut this shit down. I'm going to shut this shit down. But I liked the patch. Come hell or high water, whatever hateful comments are going to come my way. I like the patch. I think it's cool. I think it's exciting. Way more good than bad. All right. That's the stream. We went through it for about an hour, so I'm sure you guys are ready to stop listening to my voice. Let's get this out of here. If you care at all about the drama of the channel itself, no video came out this morning. That was actually an accident. I scheduled it for tomorrow morning, not this morning, so that was just an accident. It's coming out at 5 p.m., so 4.5 hours from right now. And then I won't have a daily video tomorrow because I'll be streaming at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So I don't want my own video to be competing for views with my live stream. So there will be no video tomorrow because it'll be a 10-hour live stream. And then after that, I have no content ready to go. So any recordings after that point will be on patch 4.1, which is good. Because as a content creator, you try not to schedule too much content past the patch. Because then you're getting like replays from a meta that's no longer true and no one cares. So, yeah. Hopefully, we'll get back on our schedule of every morning at 8 a.m. you guys get a video, but today it'll come out at 5 p.m. Tomorrow there won't be one because of the live stream. Goodbye!